Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's David Palmer, Leo King, and I'm super excited because today I have some of the people from Future Life, which I'm part of. We're part of an awesome spiritual network where we're doing horoscopes, we're doing tarot scopes, we're doing lifestyle energy reports, we're doing all sorts of stuff over there at Future Life. And I haven't got to introduce a lot of the awesome people that are on Future Life. And we're promoting our new YouTube page, which we just launched, and it takes 24 hours to get this thing to go live. So we had to do it on my channel. But we are going to be doing free videos, and every week we're going to be doing hangouts between all the different people that are on Future Life. There's a total of 12 of us, everything from astrologers to tarot readers to energy readers to vegan chefs to, what am I missing, guys? Lifestyle people.
Love and relationships.
Love and relationships. We got the whole deal there. So it's pretty cool. So, but I want to introduce everybody that's in here first. We'll start with the astrologers, since I'm an astrologer and we're on my astrology channel. I'm sure you guys all know the Peace Dealer. He's up in here. What's up, dog?
What it do, what it is. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Well, this isn't even like thank you to me. We're all doing this together, you know, like Future Life's about, you know, like combining forces and becoming like the Avengers of spirituality, I feel like, you know.
I got that Avengers feel too, with the Infinity War coming out and everything. It's like we're assembling together to illuminate the collective consciousness. But I still always feel like it's an honor to share space, you know. I'm glad to be on this channel too. It's definitely exciting. Thank y'all watching too for tuning in, joining us.
Well, and then we got another awesome astrologer. We got Kara in the house. Why don't you introduce yourself about everything that you do? Because some of my people probably don't know who you are.
Sure. Thanks, David. Really cool to hang out with the Future Life family. So yeah, I'm one of the astrologers on Future Life. Love helping people manifest by connecting with cosmic energy. I do a lot with following the different moon cycles and how to really plan your schedule around that. So yeah, that's my passion, helping you co-create magic with the cosmos, and really great to hang out with some other astrologers. And then of course, David, who adds the love and relationship side of things as well. So yeah, happy to be here.
We are so happy to have you. You know, when I was seeking out astrologers, that's a big deal, especially since I'm an astrologer. And I just want people to know that I think Kara does amazing astrology. She comes from a really heart-centered space. And you have, and I've never actually really like looked at your chart, but your caring ability to like help people get through stuff in such a positive and really like, it's like, you know how to hammer the truth in such a soft way. I don't know how to describe it.
I think it's my Aries rising that's really direct, and then my sun in Cancer and moon in Taurus, right? So it's that combination of like go get things done, but then very like soft, gentle approach as well. So it's probably the mixture of both.
Well, it's awesome to have you, and I can't wait to have our discussion today. And then we got David Hauser, who is our love guru. What are you calling yourself nowadays?
I'm a love guide. I'm saying that because I'm here to guide everybody to the love that they were always meant to have. And I just want to say hi to everybody, and it's such a pleasure to be among all these great people on Future Life. I watch both of your guys' show. I love your guys' show. It's so full of great information and positive energy and humor.
Well, I think that everybody on Future Life, the website, we all have like a positive, happy-go-lucky / really real about the tough shit that happens in the universe. So it's kind of like a combination of fun and holy shit, the real shit's here too. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. You know, especially with, you know, the cooking shows and you know, all the card readers that we have there. You know, they certainly add other dimensions to it. That's a lot of fun. My thing, of course, is helping people understand what this crazy thing called love is all about, how it relates to your cosmology, and how to you know, work through your inner issues and get to the place where you can actually be ready and open to receive that love that we all certainly deserve fulfill us in our life.
No, it's awesome what you're doing. And I think the love and relationship thing, I mean, as astrologers, you know, that's some aspect that, of course, we always have to look at. But as astrologers, we look at more than just 12 other areas of life. So when somebody can take a certain, you know, topic of spirituality, like love and relationships, which, to be honest with you, man, that is a hard one to do. You know, I don't know if the other astrologers in here, like Michael and Kara, can agree, but man, like, no matter how much you can do a great astrology reading, love and relationships is one of the hardest things to nail with astrology, you know?
Yeah, it's not an easy topic because, you know, it is so multi-dimensional, transcendental, and, you know, and essentially the most spiritual thing about us is our capacity to love and connect through love.
What do you two think about, Kara and Michael, about relationships, especially now and with astrology and stuff?
Yeah, I think it's always a topic people really want to know about, right? Especially compatibility. Like, am I compatible with this person? I do a lot of readings around that, but it is a tough one with astrology. Like, I think there's kind of different aspects that we have to look at with that. Like, I always love looking at the Venus placement of what people value in the world, how they show love. Of course, like looking at moon placements in terms of astrology, where you get that sense of comfort and security, who you are at the heart of things. Mars as well, I feel, comes into play with that too, like what drives us, what motivates us. So it's definitely like a few different factors you really look at to see who we're compatible with in terms of love and relationships and how we show love in the world. So it's always a hot topic for sure. Always something people want to know about. Yeah.
What about you, Michael?
Honestly, it's addicting to me. It's compatibility and relationship astrology is the juice of the juice. Like, I could give a reading to someone and it's an amazing reading, but as soon as we start pulling up synastry charts, it's like, oh, we're dishing hot tea, and then we're talking about how the compatibility actually like connects with other people. But yeah, I mean, I think with relationship astrology, it could get messy, it could get cool, but it's also just fascinating how you could read from a chart how someone's your soulmate, or you can illuminate, oh, this is why you had this connection to them, because you had this Saturn transit going through it. And what I really wanted to say too is, like, given this new age, how you're able to tell and break through gender roles. You can look at a chart and be like, oh, you know, this person has more air and fire, and they're traditionally supposed to be less promiscuous than they are, but, you know.
Now you're dipping into the sex part too, which is a subject which I enjoy talking about a lot. You know, when it comes to me and how I look at love and relationships, I think I get a little too, like, I look a little too, like, in the weirder spaces with, like, the solar arcs and the progressions and then the combinations of synastry and then composite and Davison, and then I'm like looking at their compatibility of just like where their moon and Mars and all that is, and I kind of get like, I'm like, holy cow, you know, I kind of can get a little overwhelmed with it all, you know, because it's like there's so much. I think it's, you know, there's a great astrologer I used to work with, Gregory Martin, and he always used to say it's like a crapshoot, and I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, sometimes it can kind of feel that way, but you know, sometimes I think we, as astrologers, when we look back at what happened, let's say after a breakup or after a get together, and we see how those transits kind of came together, it's like after so many readings and experiences, not only in our own self or what we see through family members or friends or people, when we look at their charts, I think we learn more on the more realistic level of things than kind of the more traditional, like, kind of schooling of, you know, relationships, I guess.
Especially because we have like new relationship problems. Like, people years ago didn't have like smartphones, so we got advised, you know, with the contemporary times, and like, you know.
And relationships are different now in the last 30 years since Pluto went through Libra, right? And then it went through Scorpio. And now we're all the way to Capricorn, which is traditions. So it's like, all the things that Pluto's gone through over this last 30 years has been really interesting to me, because it's like all relationships really have changed. Like, marriage and the traditional marriage is a very rare thing now. There's so many different sexual aspects now than ever. So I think, I think love and relationships is in a new territory right now. And I think we're all still trying to define that. And as astrologers, I think it's like kind of letting go of the traditional way of like, oh, this is what you're looking for in a traditional relationship, but maybe looking at a chart and being like, well, that Venus and Gemini kind of, I want to play around a little differently in that area or whatever,
True. And people are we're complicated, right? It's like there's so many factors that make up who we are. So it is always going to be ever changing. Like it's not straightforward. We're complicated. And that's why I think, like, firstly, I know when I first started studying astrology, it's like this love of understanding yourself and who you are and knowing that really well. And then you start to branch out and you want to learn about other people, right? Like you want to see everybody's charts, all the relationships in your life, and it starts to branch out in that area. So I think it really does start with like knowing yourself well. And even in terms of astrology, like knowing your chart, knowing what you desire. And from that space, then you can know how you're going to connect with the people around you and what you need. But it always has to start with us first.
Yeah, I think with all this speed dating and all the apps and stuff like that, that it's sort of, has reached its peak and it's going to the other side right now. I mean, if you look at the astrology right now, it really is about yourself, and dealing with the inner struggles that you've had from your childhood and, really putting it all in the past so that you are going to be ready to receive that love that is destined to find you. And I think that, we're all feeling that extremely right now. And relationships that you're already in are really being tested right now on a very high level.
Well, what about sex?
Sex is going in a crazy, crazy, crazy direction. Whether you're having sex or not, which is weird to say, but yeah, I feel like the way people look at sex is so fundamentally different. It has everything to do with what David just said too, and like mixing that into who you are and how you identify with sex.
Seems like it's been a video game. Like sex has been a video game, right? It's like, let's try this one, let's try that one. I've already went through that one. Let's try to find a new game that's out there that's called sex. And I really feel that because of Saturn and Capricorn, that we are returning to a lot of traditional values. And I think people want to actually have sustainable relationships where it starts with getting to know you.
What do you think, Kara, about the sex?
I don't know what to weigh in on that topic. I mean,
what do you think about this Jupiter retrograding in Scorpio right now?
I mean, yeah, that does bring questions of sexuality and exploring our sexuality to the surface, along with so many other things that we have hidden, right? Like since Jupiter is making this transit in Scorpio, things are coming to the surface. Like a lot of secrets that have been buried. We're seeing things in a new way. And I think for ourselves personally, it's a time where we're doing a lot of shadow work. And that's where it's been like a struggle for a lot of people. This energy has felt like, I thought I already dealt with this. Why is it coming up again? And it's like we're continuing to peel layers of the onion. Like there's more and more to do. And I think that's what Jupiter and Scorpio is all about. It is about going deep, right? And even just coming off of this full moon, I know I had so many people reach out saying how intense that was, how emotional it was for them. Like it really just is a time where I think we have to be willing to like look at the shadow and do the deep work to bring about transformation in all areas of our life. And if we're not willing to go there, that's when we start to feel stuck, right? Or where we see problems coming up. Like we have to be willing to look at what is under the surface, who we really are, what we really value, what we really believe in. And then that transformation can start to unfold.
Seems like the universe is really squeezing us all right now in that regard, to either confront it, transform, or just go through hell.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to face it, right? think we're being called to really step up and elevate to the next level. I think Saturn and Capricorn's doing that too. It's like, it's time to elevate into the best version of who we know we can be. And we have to keep up with that expansion, or else we feel it. And I think that's where the people that are struggling the most with the energy aren't keeping up with that expansion. Like, we have to just go with it, even if we're not completely sure how the path will unfold. Just allow ourselves to really step up.
Yeah, I think it's a hunger issue because Jupiter retrograde in Scorpio to me is pulling up everything in our deeper emotional hunger worlds, and this Uranus Taurus about to happen in opposition to it. Not exact, but still it's in opposition. And with the north and south nodes and fixed signs as well, to me, the fixed signs are hunger, you know, what we want to eat, what we want to, whether we want to love, whether we want to screw, whether we want to buy, whether we want to, you know, be friends with or connect with or fix. So it's like, oh my gosh, I think we're all kind of at a restaurant right now and the menu is overwhelming. It's like going to Cheesecake Factory. You never know what the fuck to get. You know, you're like, oh, I'll just go with my same old. And then you go, oh, I could have got that. There's so many awesome things on the menu. And I think right now we're all kind of flipping the page on the menu and then flipping back and being like, let me try that, you know, or what is going to fulfill me in my life. And I think that's the hard struggle, because with Saturn and Capricorn, it's like the choices you make are heavy. And so it's like, you just can't out of nowhere, I don't know, just kind of like be like, I don't know. You just can't just like make a choice right now on that meal and now, yeah, I'm going to eat it. I think that there's a lot to see if the value that is there, right? You know, fully.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even being like, despite some of the difficulties that are coming up for people like right now, like we are in Taurus season, and it is about like paying attention to our physical body and also enjoying the pleasures of the world. Like, don't forget to have fun along the way while you're making these tough decisions. Like, allow yourself, right, to also enjoy the good times. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
I think this Taurus season is very different than Taurus seasons we've experienced over the last few years. You know, this one is just really challenging us to look at, you know, what we're here for. You know, how are we going to make that money, carve out our place in the earth, and do our thing. And I think, you know, a lot of those ideas about who we thought we were are being changed in who we have always been meant to be. If that makes sense.
Yeah, what do you think, Michael? How do you feel about this Taurus season?
I think it's perfectly said. I'm a Gemini, so Taurus season is like when I go to my fantasy land and just zonk out. But I've been really feeling like very grounded to where I'm letting go of, you know, old habits and just generally speaking, I agree with David when he says this is so much more different than other Taurus seasons too, because there's that usual grounding, but there's this greater understanding of seeing where other people's values are at, and it's allowing everyone to be more of who they are, but also people to, like, in a good way, kind of be happy about what's cool about themselves, as opposed to where they might have felt scrutinized because they believe in certain values. Like, a lot of people are very opinionated. No, I guess it's not Taurus season making that, but it's definitely interesting to see like that stubbornness and clash of ideals being highly revealing of who people are.
Yeah, I think the way I would describe this Taurus season is like the cow is just fucking done. Like, Uranus has been in Aries for, you know, the 7-8 year cycle, and it's you know, the cow's ready to get up, because Uranus is an uplifter. It's the ruler of the heavens, and the cow has been knocked down for a long time. It had to deal with oppositions with Saturn and eclipses, and the South Node went through Taurus, right through those whole Saturn and Scorpio transits, and then it had Uranus and Taurus through the whole thing. I'll be honest with you, anybody who had planets in Taurus or Tauruses themselves, this has been a fucking gnarly ride for them. So I think that we came into Taurus and the vibration is like, I'm done. Like, I need shit to get together. I need somebody to pick me up. I think that, you know, when there's nothing worse than seeing a cow fall over. It's like, roar, you know, and just so dramatic, and it's sad to see, you know. And I think that when Uranus enters, it's finally gonna put on its cologne, put on its perfume, put on its nice clothes, go eat a nice steak dinner, and be like, I'm back, baby.
I've said I'm done 17 times in 3 days already.
What about you guys? Do you guys feel that way at all through this Taurus?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm excited for the shift of Uranus into Taurus. I think we're going to see a lot of cool changes happening, and really just, I mean, obviously the big one is like changes in money, which a lot of people have spoke about and are aware of. But I think even just getting back to like, I mean, I'm a crystal lover. I love working with crystals, like getting back to really understanding crystals and rocks on a deeper level, right? Like how we use herbs and supplements. Like, I think that there's going to be so many beautiful shifts in that area as well. So yeah, I feel it's going to be a month of transformation. Like when it makes its shift on the 15th and with the new moon, I really see things starting to pick up and change. Yeah.
I can almost hear the cow getting up, like, you know, and it's really fascinating because there is a very much a focus and a push on people to, like what you're saying, Kara, you know, crystals and herbs, and you know, I think it's this renewing, this tonic, you know, and reconnecting with the energy of the earth and the energy of you know, the cosmos, and blending those with this you know, new look at how we are propelling ourselves through the universe. So I think really this Taurus energy at the end is exactly what you guys are saying about this incredible transformation we're all feeling.
Yeah, there's nothing like watching a cow get up, let out a fart, and say, I'm ready again, you know? Like, it's just like, I think that's pretty much where we're at, because I think what Michael said earlier about how it, you know, you'd expect with all these planets in Capricorn and the sun in Taurus, like to be grounded. But I think it's been this really weird time, because it's grounded if you actually take a second and like erase your drama of life. Like if you erase the drama going on, and this kind of misunderstood identification of your life right now, everything's fine. Like, it's our own dramas right now, I think, that are freaking out, and that's not grounded. But the reality is grounded as hell. Like, I think a lot of people were thinking it was just going to be chaotic or something with all this. Saturn in Capricorn is strong as strong gets. And this thing ain't breaking. The reality ain't going nowhere. And it's pretty solid right now. And I think we're all just like frantic maniacs with this Mercury coming out of shadow in Aries that was making horrible aspects to all that Capricorn, the Saturn aspect. And now it's getting ready to square Mars and Pluto. Like, I think a lot of it is like our own manic, like, what are we going to do? And with all these hungers now, I mean, it's like we're in The Walking Dead, but we're the zombies now going, ha, you know, like, you know.
Yeah, it's like getting out of our heart and sinking into, or getting out of our head, sinking into the heart space, which is kind of funny to say with Venus and Gemini, but I really feel like sometimes we have to do that, right? Just like sink into the heart, trust our intuition, allow that to guide us. And yeah, just get out of the intellect. I mean, ideally, they both have to work together, right? Like our intellect, our intuition. But I think right now, in order to like tap into that grounded energy that you're talking about, David, we really do have to sink into the heart space and trust our intuition to guide us.
I really think these crystals are a great way to do that, you know, is to really, because it's focusing your mind to tune into this frequency, you know, where our intuition lies. And intuition is surely has been beaten down for the last 4 years, and I think it's a part of that, you know, that big bull getting off the ground, because it's tuned in, you know, with the new energy that's pulling it and pulling all of us with it to perfect, you know, this reason why we're here.
What do you think, Michael?
I've been waiting for Uranus and Taurus for so long. I just feel like it'll speed up or evolve the vibration of the earth itself so it can connect with where people's minds have been at. It's very abstract to say, but this earth is very stable, and I think this is really a good time for us to see and experience that and have personal victories for ourselves with how we could technologically or economically revolutionize our own jobs and how we make a living, which once again goes into how we identify ourselves. So yeah, I'm really
right on, Michael.
I think it's now I just had my guide screamed it. It was like Neptune and Pisces, hello, at the middle of the transit. I mean, it's like, so there's all this grounding and there's all this, but I think Neptune and Pisces is a neurotic, imaginative / you know, on the edge of your seat. It's going to be over 1 minute and then no, I found revolution of God. You know, it's like totally manically, spiritually, psychotically exciting and like scary and weird at the same time, you know? And I think because we're only halfway through this transit, right? I mean, it's like, oh, I think we're getting more used to it now, but I think with it rules the media, right? Neptune. So the media is projecting manic world, which is not. It's not as manic as it looks. It's projected that way, you know?
What's Neptune and Aries going to be like?
Well, that was the start of the Civil War when Neptune went in Aries. So it's the battle for spirituality, I guess. The battle for spiritual righteousness, or, you know, whatever people feel spiritually aligned with, they're going to do, you know, or fight for, you know?
I think that it's so happening right now in the collective consciousness. I think we all sense this. We all feel it's, you know, the troops are gathering.
Yeah, but the troops aren't doing shit. It's in Pisces. They're all kind of like, you know, they're like, you know, they're talking about it and like they see the vision and they're, you know, but like, no, you know, like people are kind of doing it, but you know, the revolution really hasn't like taken off, I guess. And I think when Neptune comes into Aries, that'll be the time that Pluto's getting ready as well to be in Aquarius. That's we all know the 2020s are through like massive, crazy world future we've all kind of seen in movies that we've all been waiting for. We're kind of in the unfortunate waiting room with the you know, professor that we hate, that we just kind of gotta.
Yes.
I think Kara has it right, with being easy and like kind of soft and with a lot of, she said a lot of like the grounding of like crystals and stuff. Like Taurus is the only one that's an earth sign, especially, that's not running around or doing anything. It's eating grass and it's connected with the earth completely. It's not focused on a big goal at the moment. It's focused on the taste of the hay it's eating, or it's focused on the things that are really centrally connected to ourselves immediately. Whereas Virgo can kind of get, you know, lost in service. So no, I gotta go in the field to go fix, you know, and get all the crop. But it's like Taurus is like right there. Like it smells the next cow's over shit and goes, what was that guy eating, you know? And I think this is a time for us where we're all in our personal like inner spaces while Jupiter's retrograding in Scorpio, kind of like, yeah, I don't like that. No. And ooh, I like that, but is it good for me or is it bad for me? You know, there's a lot of that going on right now.
Agree, yeah. And like underlying it all is still that desire for security, right? Which Taurus above all else craves. And of course, Saturn and Capricorn, it's like we want that stability. And we're not quite feeling it right now. So that's where I really think we have to kind of lean into it. And as part of Future Life, I do my cosmic meditations each week because I think it's so important that we work with this energy. We can't resist it. Anything we resist, it persists within us. So the more that we can lean into the energy and go with it, that really is the key. So like learn to connect with it. Don't fight it. What's happening outside of us in the cosmos is within us as well. And the more that we can just learn to go with the flow and connect with this energy, the better off we're going to be. No sense resisting, right?
The synchronicity of the universe right now just is amazing. I mean, we're all getting signs. We're having visions. We're dreaming. You know, it's like we're really being brought to some place. You know, I really love your meditations, by the way. And I think it's that meditation aspect is so important for everybody to get in sync and to feel the grass being chewed, like you were saying, David.
Yeah, well, I think she also brings up a good point of like when she brings up her meditations, it's so important right now. But it made me realize like the reason why we all came together to do Future Life is because, and I'm going to be blunt, there's a million people now doing spirituality online, right? And we all have our own talents, but we all suck at other parts. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm probably not the best person to talk about meditations with or eating good food as I'm sitting here with a Powerade, a Gatorade. And you all know I probably have a Sprite somewhere here. I got a Sprite right now. You know what I mean? So I'm probably not the guy to talk about that with. But Kara is with certain aspects or other people. And that's why we all came together, because we wanted to create one place people can go where they're going to get experiences from all the different places. And YouTube, it's kind of like a crazy, I call it a circus, not in a negative way, but it's just like, you know, you're on this video and then you're over there and then the next thing you know, you're on some weird video that you didn't want to watch, you know, and then you're like, oh, get me away from that. And that's why we kind of created a safe space that's about the future. And if you want your horoscopes, or you don't want that, you want tarot, or you want to learn more about your lifestyle stuff, you know, that's why, you know, we created this all together. I think a lot of people think that it's me, but it's not me at all. Like, I really made this because I realized after 6 years of doing videos every day that sure, and especially being one of the first people to make a subscription-based horoscope site and app, that I'm going to lose at the end of the day because I only offer it in one certain way. And nobody's going to want to subscribe to 15 people in the future, like individually, if that makes sense. So, you know, I think that's why Future Life is here, because we wanted to create one place where we can all band together and help each other show everybody different aspects that you're going to get different vibes from everyone.
It's so great. I love Michael and Kara's work, and you know, we have so many amazing people in there that are, you know, we're all dedicated to help everybody get to the love they've always been meant to have, get to the future that they've always been meant to have, and be the best person they can absolutely be.
Yeah. So, what are you each bringing to Future Life in your thing? We'll start with Michael. What have you been bringing to Future Life so people know?
Well, I definitely got the weekly sun sign astrology horoscopes popping for sure. And as Gemini season comes through, after I clear this 12th house energy, I'm definitely going to be bringing some fresh daily content, helping you understand the moon sign phases. So kind of look into lunar reports based on the perception of the moon. And I also am looking forward to introducing educational content as far as like learning the planets through the signs and just learning about the planets.
Yeah, and you and I were going to start to do a show where we talk about, like, I don't know what we were going to call it, but we're going to call it like crazy astrology, like astrology that just is like so beyond any book ever written, and weird thoughts that you and I have about astrology that would just kind of make people go, what did they just think about?
Yeah, it's going to be too much fun.
Yeah. And Kara, what have you been bringing to Future Life all the time?
Yeah, so I do weekly in-depth horoscopes, and that's for all the signs, where I do a daily breakdown of what's going on in the cosmos that day and how you can work with that energy. Like, I always like to give helpful tips. So this is what's going on with the planets. This is how you can use this to manifest in your life. I also do the cosmic meditations each week, so working with that energy. This one was a guided meditation that I did this week around like stepping into your ideal day and really like tapping into that energy, because I feel that's been on a lot of people's mind right now. Like, this is the future that I want to get to, but I'm here. So helping people really step into that energy now. And then all of the major updates, like I did a video on Chiron moving into Aries. I'll be doing one. Uranus moving into Taurus, keeping you up to date on all that stuff. Lots around changes in the moon cycles. So yeah, lots of goodness around astrology and how you can work with that in manifestation.
Yeah, and you do a great job at it too. And I have to say, Michael too, his sun sign reports are awesome. You guys both were the only two astrologers I picked out of a lot of astrologers that applied, just because I really feel that you two are awesome in what you do, and I think bring a different vibe that I can't bring to the table. And that's why I'm very proud of you too, just knowing you as fellow astrologers, because you guys are both great astrologers and do such a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then Mr. Hauser, Oceans of Love, what do you bring besides Oceans of Love to Future Life?
Well, you know, every episode ends with a big kiss and Oceans of Love. But, you know, I talk about different topics, you know, like making yourself irresistible, the 5 languages of love, desire should not be suppressed. I mean, all my content is designed to help empower men and women to understand, you know, what this thing love is all about. I mean, there's no Love 101 classes. My premium class, my premium package, I talk about, you know, how to spot a karmic relation, a reasonable facsimile or a fake relationship, and a fated relationship. I mean, that's what we really want to get to. And it's so difficult because we don't have the tools to understand what those things are and how to recognize them. And a lot of times we just get years taken out of our lives on foolishness that, had we known or had this kind of information, we could have bypassed and found that fated relationship earlier in our lives.
Yeah, and it's cool because if people don't know that are watching, Future Life, I think they get a little too caught up in that it's an app when it's really a website where all of our videos and content are accessed on the web. We do daily notifications on the web. You can watch all the videos on there, or you can choose to go on the app or go on the mobile web part. So we've spent the last like 3 months really building this network, and there's only 4 of us here, but we have another 8 people that are on the site. So it's like, and they all couldn't be here today, but we're just going to be doing this every week now for free. These hangouts with a bunch of us interchanging and talking about the week and vibrations and whatever we're feeling. And that's on the Future Life YouTube, Future Life TV. So search it and please subscribe. Also, people that are part of Future Life are going to be putting up free content and stuff. They're going to like take over the YouTube page and put up content that they want. We're really wanting to not only create, if you want, a website that has everyday content. And of course, if you guys know, I do daily videos, horoscopes, weekend horoscope, daily tarot horoscope, weekly intuitive, weekly tarot, all 12 sun sign weekly videos. I do a lot of videos on there. But so Future Life is like Disneyland of whatever you can want. But we are building the YouTube as kind of like a little satellite, I don't know what you would call it, a lemonade stand. When you need it, and so we'd love for you to go there, and this is what you're going to see are these kind of hangouts with all those 12 different people. And other than that, I mean, anything else that you guys want to add about what the hell is going on in the universe right now, or anything?
Well, I think one thing that you should add about the Future Life stuff is that we're all here to give you readings. You know, we are all trained and are here to help, on a personal level, help you connect with, getting through your story and being the best person you can be. And that's a lot of people in that room that are dedicated to making sure that, you know, it all comes together for you.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also part of the future is we're going to be doing like live shows, like where we all come together and do like a event for 3 days or whatever. So there's a lot going on with it, and it's been a crazy idea that's actually manifested, and it's very Capricornian right now since it's one step at a time. But we've got the network there, and really it's beautiful. And I thank all you for being on it and making it awesome, because I feel that's where the future is going, and that's why I came up with the name Future Life. You know, is to get ready for this 2020s. You know, I think it's going to be for the spiritual people that are really awake and open and doing the work, it's going to be Disneyland. But I think for people who haven't awoke yet or are in denial of some sort of outer godly, spiritual creator experience connection, I think it's going to be really difficult. And I think the very difficult awakenings people went through, especially from this 2012 cycle, right? I think those people, and I might be talking to one of you that are viewing right now, you're a role model for the people that are going to be waking up during the gnarliest times ever in these next 5 years that are going to develop. And then coming out of that, you're going to have to be there for them, because they're going to wake up like 15 times harder than we all did in this last, you know, couple decades. You know, like it's going to be a gnarly kind of matrixy kind of wake up everybody, I think, you know.
This has been amazing, you know, hanging out with you guys and doing this. You know, this is the first one, and I look forward to watching. I mean, I love watching the content myself, so I look forward to seeing more of both yours and, of course, yours, David, content. And I mean, this is really a blessing to be here right now, and I want to thank you.
Yeah, no, and it was great to have you all. And yeah, so, and you can find all of us on futurelife.tv, or find any of them on their Facebooks or anything like that. They have their content and stuff. We're a pretty cool network where, you know, we're open, and, you know, there's exclusive content to Future Life, but I'm the kind of guy where it's like, this isn't about, you know, owning content or owning people or anything like that. This is all about creating a space where everybody's coming together to really help and do something that's never been done before, you know. And I think it's going to be a really radical and cool thing. So it was really fun doing this. But everybody, we're going to be doing these on Future Life TV YouTube. You can find it. You can see the Future Life logo. But thanks so much. I'd recommend subscribing to it, and we'll see you guys all later. And it was good to see you all. Hope you guys keep rocking it.
Oceans of love.
Peace out. Likewise. Thank you once again.
Yes, thank you.
All right, bye.